Welcome! I'm Joellen Hoff, and this is Every Step of the Way, where it's all about applying God's Word to your everyday life, one step at a time, every step of the way. Is God asking or directing you to serve Him in a way that seems untenable to you? Is your response to Him, "I'm too old, I'm too tired, Lord, I don't have the energy for that," or "My mind is not what it used to be, please choose someone else, Lord"? If so, then please stay tuned, because today we're going to talk about how the Lord uses us mature folk to serve Him in monumental ways. Hey, so I'm recording this after I'm done with the video, and I meant to put it in earlier. There's probably going to be some noises in the background in this video, and I apologize. I have two parrots. We have two parrots, and they're sitting right here, and I'll insert some footage of them so you can see them. But Pumpkin's been kind of whining, and you may hear Birdie over there trying to mimic me. So if you hear weird noises, that's what it is. Thank you for understanding. If you're familiar with the Bible, you know that God used people well into their older years to do His work. Abraham was 99 when God made His covenant with him, promising Abraham that he would be the father of many nations. And God kept His promise by giving Abraham and Sarah a son in their later years. The Bible tells us that Sarah was 90 when she had Isaac, and it specifically says that both Sarah and Abraham were very old. Daniel would have been in his 80s when he was thrown into the lion's den, and God gave Daniel great visions and revelations about things to come and end times when he was an old man. Joshua would have been in his older years when he crossed over into the promised land and became the leader of Israel. He would have been in his 80s when he led the Israelite army to take the city of Jericho. And of course, there's Moses. Moses was 80 and his brother Aaron was 83 when they went in front of Pharaoh to command him to let the Israelites go, as we see in Exodus 7:7. But when God first spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, Moses did not immediately get on board with God's plan to use him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. In Exodus 3:7 through 10, we read, "The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of the land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Pezerites, Hivites, and Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." Now notice, this was not an ask, it was a command. So now, go. What? Can you imagine? Just take a second and try to put yourself in Moses' sandals. I mean, he's talking to God. Just wrapping his head around that must have been enormous. But then hearing God say, "Now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of Egypt." What? But Moses said to God, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" I mean, I think most of us would reply the same way. Who am I to do this? But God replied, "I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain." So here's God affirming to Moses that Moses will bring the people out of Egypt, that they will worship on the very mountain he was standing. Now notice, God did not answer Moses' question directly. "Oh, who am I that I should do this?" He didn't give Moses a list of credentials as to what made him the man for the job. God was simply telling Moses, "I will be with you." I mean, he was saying, "I'm all you need." I mean, do you see how this ties in with us? It doesn't matter. We may have a lot of notions about ourselves that God doesn't share. If He calls us, He will be with us. Yes, even in our old age. In Psalms 92:14 we find, even in old age they will still produce fruit. They will remain vital and green. Vital and green. This is how God sees us. He sustains us. Now, Moses' mind must have been spinning after hearing God's directive. It astonishes me that he was even able to keep his composure. But we know that he asked God a lot of questions at this point. And God answered his questions. Moses asked things like, what if the Israelites don't believe me? What do I tell them when they ask me what your name is? What if they don't believe or listen to me and say, the Lord did not appear to you? But God answered his questions and even gave Moses great signs to show the people, like turning his staff into a snake, or turning his hand leprous and then restoring it to a healthy hand. But still, Moses said to the Lord in Exodus 4:10, pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. Moses was humble. He felt inadequate. But the Lord pointed out to Moses in verses 11 and 12. The Lord said to him, who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak, and I will teach you what to say. I will help you. I will teach you, said the Lord. How cool is that? The Lord gives us like on-the-job training. But in verse 13 we read, Moses said, pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else. Okay, we get it. We understand where Moses was coming from. He was looking at it from his point of view. To him, the task was way bigger than he was. And yes, it was. It was a big task, but not bigger than God. So after hearing Moses say, please send someone else, God got a little ticked at Moses, but in his mercy, love, and patience, he provided a way that encouraged Moses to obey. And let's read in this next passage, verses 14 through 17. There's so much cool stuff in here. Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, what about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. Okay, right here we see how well God knows each and every one of us, how involved he is, how he really is. I know he can speak well. He knew Aaron. And then the passage goes on. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. Now to me, it seems God's tone is changing a bit here. He was angry, but now he's putting Moses at ease. Moses must have felt comfort in the fact that his brother was coming and would be glad to see him. In verse 15 we read, you shall speak to him, and I will put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak, and he will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth and as if you were God to him. But take this staff in your hand so you can perform the signs with it. Brilliant. God eliminated all of Moses' fears in the most awesome way. He gave him his brother Aaron to speak for him. Of course, we know the rest of the story. And if you don't, I encourage you to read Exodus through Deuteronomy in the Old Testament of the Bible. Yes, Moses went on to be a great man and a highly revered servant of the Lord, even so much so as to have God refer to Moses as his friend. All because Moses obeyed God. He did not reject his call. Sometimes God uses us for heavy lifting, even when we believe we are far beyond our heavy lifting years. In Job 12:12, we are told, wisdom is with the aged and understanding in the length of days. You see, God knows your heart. He knows your fears. He knows your insecurities. But like Moses, he will provide a way for you to move forward in his plan for you. Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. If you feel that God is asking something of you that is just more than you can do, tell him. Tell him what your concerns are, just as Moses did, and watch God move in miraculous ways in your life. I was watching a program the other night that had Alveda King as a guest. If you don't know who she is, she's the niece of Martin Luther King Jr. And she is now, I think, 71, and she just earned her PhD. Now, I don't know if God laid that on her heart, but she gave him all the glory. So I can only surmise that he may have led her to get that degree. So, my seasoned friends, and I'm right in there with you, don't let age stand in the way of action. Don't let your inadequacies be bigger than God in your life. God may stretch you farther than you feel comfortable, but he will fortify you and bless you when you say yes to him. Here, come here, bring Pumpkin in. Bring her in, bring her in, bring her in. This is the little one that you keep hearing squeaking if you hear noises in the video. This is Pumpkin. Say hi. Can you say hi? Hi, bird. Hi, bird. Can you say hi, bird? Hi, bird. Of course, no, she's not going to say hi now. Of course. In 2 Corinthians 9, 8 through 10, we read, "And God is able to bless you abundantly. And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." Okay. I hope this video has been a source of encouragement for you. Remember, all is possible with God. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Please visit the website and get on the mailing list. I'll leave a link below in the comment box or the description box. So until next time, may God bless you. May he keep you close. May he bless you richly. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.